Alrighty, and I just secured 2 tickets for Hamilton for $1,500. It's on Disney Plus. Oh. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today we're talking all about Hamilton on Disney Plus. When I tell you to believe the hype, you better believe it, because it's even bigger than that. Now, before I dive into what I loved and the one thing that I didn't like too much, if it is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where I talk about movies, I review them, I react to them, and I talk a little bit about TV too. So if you love what you hear and what you see, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and tap on that bell as well so you stay up to date with reviews just like this. Now, get loud in the comments, guys, and let me know what you think about Hamilton. Where were you when you watched it? Have you seen it before? Because this is my first time watching Hamilton in any capacity and actually listening to more than just Lin-Manuel Miranda say, "My name is Alexander Hamilton," which is an epic moment, but we'll talk all about that, guys. And if you haven't, go ahead and like this video. It does a ton to help the channel. Now, that's actually a little bit of background about where I stood with Hamilton before watching it. I had no clue about the production, the set design. I knew what the poster looked like, and I knew my name is Alexander Hamilton. That's about it. But everything else was such a surprise to me, and I literally had my jaw open the entire 2 hours and 40 minutes. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was incredible, and the way they brought it to Disney Plus is actually a feat in and of itself. Now, this is directed by Kail, and of course the play is written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, the golden child, and it's actually inspired by Alexander Hamilton, written by Ron Chernow. I could not believe my eyes when I was watching this play. I always told myself I'm not going to watch Hamilton unless it's with the OG cast, and Disney Plus really blessed me and so many others. Let's start with what I opened this review up with, which is you have to believe the hype, because I'm telling you, this is excellent. This is clearly a 5 out of 5 Broadway play, but as a film made for TV, wow. The way they pulled this off is incredible. There were some behind the scenes photos that Lin-Manuel shared of them getting a crane into the actual theater, and I've heard that this is a very small theater, so the fact that this was even in the works from June 2016 all the way up until now is incredible. There were so many different shots, whether it be up close to see the important details of each actor's face, and then there were wide shots to see the full scale of the stage. I absolutely loved some of the overhead shots too, because it gave you different angles that you wouldn't otherwise get in your seat. Now, if I'm paying $1,500 for Hamilton, I'm gonna go for the audience, the energy, and that's what you kind of miss here. But what I loved is that I was still engaged from the beginning. Apparently, this was actually filmed 3 different times, twice with the live audience and once without, to get those close-up shots. So I don't know how Kail and Lin-Manuel pulled this off, but there's something really impressive about the directing here, about everything behind the scenes that just blew my mind. But on the surface, the cast is unreal. We're about to get into almost everyone that blew my socks off here. We're going to start with Lin-Manuel Miranda as Alexander Hamilton. Oh my goodness, you guys, he sets the tone. There's this one line early on in the show where he says the have-nots are going to win this, and I think that is actually the center of this play. It's the heart of the play. It's an underdog story, and I love that Lin-Manuel brings the heat. He can sing, he can rap, he can carry a number by himself, and he can step back and let others have that space too. Lin-Manuel is just one of those creatives that is probably a generational talent. You're not going to see him ever again, and this is just a testament to his creativity and his genius. And then there's Leslie Odom Jr. as Aaron Burr. Trust me, when the show opened, I started bopping my head. I mean, he is just able to carry a tune, and I love his acting and his ability on stage. Listen, I didn't know much about Leslie Odom Jr. before this, but now I do, and he's well deserving of all the praise in the world, because he's exceptional on stage. And then there's Daveed Diggs as Lafayette, and he also couples as Thomas Jefferson. I love that Lin-Manuel played with not only the characters, but who plays the characters. Because if you know, Thomas Jefferson was white, and Daveed Diggs is black. He's excellent. I love that, you know, Lin-Manuel shaped things and kind of retold history in a way. And I didn't know Daveed Diggs can sing his butt off, but he can. I knew he could act. And also, rapping in a French accent is hard. I don't know how he did it. And what's really cool is Daveed Diggs' character is usually always coupled next to an actor that really blew me away in this show as well. Okiariti Onalduwan is just so exceptional. The way he can sing and the way he can actually sing is just so great to see. And then you have Phillipa Sue as Eliza Hamilton, the wife to Alexander Hamilton. I did not expect this at all. I mean, oh man, she moved me close to tears. Like, her numbers were so emotional, and the way she could just carry it, just, oh my gosh, it just really made me, yeah, it got me close to tears, guys. You know I'm emotional. And then there's Anthony Ramos, who plays Lawrence, and Philip Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton's son. Anthony Ramos is one of those talents where I first saw him in the remake for A Star Is Born, and then I started learning more about his background, and this kid is just out of this world. I mean, there were some moments where I felt like he stole the show, and I love that he could go from serious to funny, and he just has so many different moods, but they all feel like they float together perfectly. So Anthony Ramos really is just so awesome in this as well. And then there's Renée Elise Goldsberry as Angelica Schuler, one half of the Schuler sisters, and that number was great. You know, the look around, I can't sing because it's early in the morning. Did that kind of rhyme? Whatever. She is just out of this world. I keep saying out of this world, but really it's the fact that she can go from singing to rapping, and then she has to act on top of that, guys. And I get it, like that's what a lot of Broadway actors do, but I felt like she commanded my attention. Actually, she demanded it. And there were some times, yeah, where the spotlight is just on her, but when everything is moving around her and my eyes are just on her the whole time, I'm thinking, how is she pulling this off right now? So give her every award in the books, because she was just outstanding. And I know I mentioned it a little while ago, but Jonathan Groff as King George, not gonna lie, I thought of Frozen the entire time, but he is just providing that comic relief. He's very humorous. I think his approach is more of a lighter approach, even though if you listen to the lyrics that he sings, his numbers are full of death, I mean tragedy, and a lot of tyranny, but man, he is so good at what he does in this play. And then there is Chris Jackson as George Washington, a central figure for this play, very important of course in America's history, but Chris Jackson is just not the flashiest actor here, and his numbers aren't the biggest, but they are some of the strongest. It's basically him and Lin-Manuel in most of these numbers together, but there are moments where you can just tell he's like the overseer of the entire stage, and I just think he was captivating in his approach, and even though it wasn't flashy, it was still thrilling. Also, those vocals, bro, take a bow. Oh my goodness. And the list goes on and on and on. It's like an endless scroll. All the background dancers were great. I love everything happening behind the scenes again. But you know, it really is just a testament of their chemistry. You can just tell that they spent time nourishing this play. It was Lin-Manuel's baby brought to life because of the actors. I'm telling you guys, when you watch this, you're gonna feel like you're in the audience even though you're at home. And yes, I was in sweats, but that's besides the point. Now, what's great about Hamilton is it's not only just a fantastic Broadway show, but it is a really cool educational piece, not only just for this adult, but for kids too, if they can stomach some of the curse words. I won't lie to you guys, I didn't know much about Alexander Hamilton before this. I'm so sorry to my AP US history teacher, but I still got a B in the class, so I'm thankful. But afterwards, I was able to learn more about Alexander Hamilton and the founding fathers and the foundation of this nation. The thing is, it's not always pretty, and I love that Lin-Manuel didn't stray away from, you know, the affair that Alexander Hamilton had, the death, the war, the tyranny, all of the unprettiness, if that's a word, was really brought to life by some of the musical numbers. But what's great is that you can still understand everything in the way it was presented. Now, if you're not a fan of hip-hop and R&B, you will be after Hamilton. Luckily, I was brought up on that, and I still, you know, listen to it every single day, so I was able to understand why he was infusing these elements in this music. It's because otherwise it would have been really bland. So what would have been super boring, long, and tedious was made so enjoyable because of the way it was presented. And rap battles, you know, with the cabinet was really cool. And then there's this cool transition to R&B, and then these awesome rock and roll ballads, and it's just really cool to see how it crescendos. It provides levity, it kind of gets low and sad, but all the while it's worth just listening and just focusing 110% of the time on what they're saying, because sure, it's a bop, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's really educational. And speaking of the numbers, there were some favorites that I wrote down, you know, My Shot, Nonstop, Schuler Sisters, the cabinet meeting rap battles, even like the opening number with Aaron Burr was Chef's Kiss. And for those who are a little worrisome about the censoring in songs, it is noticeable maybe once. And I only say once because there's another time where you could tell, you know, there's like this beeping sound, it clearly censoring out the F word. But that's because the MPAA doesn't allow for more than one F-bomb in a PG-13 movie. And I actually really like that Alexander Hamilton's long F word was kept in, and Lin-Manuel explains it in so many different interviews, but he wanted this to be accessible to so many families, and with the hard R rating, it's kind of tough to justify that with some parents and their children. So I'm glad that one long F-bomb was kept because it's really impactful, provides a beautiful transition too, and the other two were not noticeable when they were censored, except for one when they kind of stomp on the ground and you can tell there's a word missing. It just doesn't flow, if that makes sense. Listen, I'm gushing over this play, but again, there's only one thing that I didn't really like too much about Hamilton on Disney Plus. And honestly, it comes down to the stage design. I'm a sucker for everything moving in the background in Broadway plays. I'm still a baby when it comes to Broadway, so seeing all that still blows my mind. But it is a bit tougher to get the sense of scale when you're watching on your TV, whether it be even a small TV, a big TV, it doesn't matter, because the camera will always kind of hyper focus you on a couple of actors and maybe even just a section of the stage. When you're in Broadway, when you're on, like in a theater, you get a sense of everything that's happening. Sometimes you even have to avert your eyes from the most important thing happening because you're captivated by something moving on the left or the right side of the stage. But still, it's such an impressive feat. You still see the stage in the middle spinning, which is really cool, and it adds some awesome effects at the end, you know, in the duel with Phillipa and that one dude who was really making him mad. And then, of course, Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr's duel at the end. It all just kind of plays together perfectly, and it really is harmonious in the way it comes together. So overall, you guys, I'm so thankful that I understand Hamilton now. It really is an underdog story of war, love for a country, the people in charge, betrayal, trust, family, and even pride in its downfalls. I mean, this is one play that not only knocked my socks off, but it's just the fact that it's readily available on Disney Plus that really makes it so special too, because I couldn't afford Hamilton when it was even touring here in South Florida, but even if I wanted to go to New York with my girlfriend, there's no way I could have afforded it because tickets were going for $1,000 a piece. And it makes me think back to when Hamilton was picking up steam on Broadway when it premiered, I think it was January 2015. And I started thinking, man, this is something that people are talking about quite a bit. I haven't heard this about a Broadway play in my lifetime, to be honest with you. And this is basically my Phantom of the Opera, if that makes sense, because Phantom is a huge deal. But Hamilton is this generational play that you're not going to get ever again. I get why people are saying that you can't justify this play just by using words, you have to see it. And even saying that this is a masterpiece is an understatement, because that's what Hamilton is. It's a masterpiece. Now, I can't tell you enough, but Hamilton is worth your time again and again and again. And what's crazy is that Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote this play surrounding a revolution, but little did he know that Hamilton was going to start a revolution of its own. So yes, this is a 5 out of 5 for me. This is worth it from beginning to end, and you're not going to be dissatisfied. Man, I cannot wait to go and listen to the soundtrack and then watch this again tonight. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Get loud and tell me what your thoughts about Hamilton are. I want to know, do you love it? Do you like it? Or do you think it's a little meh? If you do, we're going to have some words. Don't forget to like this video as well. And guys, if you loved what you heard and saw, hit that big red button below and subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 2,000 subscribers, and it's all because of you. Alrighty guys, I gotta go ahead and get some more sleep because I woke up super early to watch this on Disney Plus, but who am I kidding? I'm gonna go listen to the soundtrack right now. Alrighty y'all, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.